is we took a foreclosed house and we turned it into a community outpost. And I want to share the video because a lot of people helped to make it possible. People like especially Ryan. Ryan did so much to help me, and Chio. Oh man, I don't want to start naming everybody because I'm afraid I'll miss some people, so I don't want to do that. But yo, check this video out. This is something pretty magical, and of all the things I've accomplished in my life, this is one of the ones I'm the most proud of. It took a lot. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of work, and I was in court. I had to battle Fannie Mae by myself in court with some help from people like Margot Black. Thank you, Margot. So check out what we did, man. I don't share this a lot because I try not to live in the past too much, but I think that sometimes the past repeats itself, right? So last time I stole the house, I was trying to run for mayor. I lost the election. We focused on the house. Ted stole all of our campaign ideas and used none of them. We have more homeless people right now than we do in 2016 when I didn't get elected. So just watch this real quick. Hey, tell me if this feels like something that you could support, all right?
The issue itself. Portland is at a crossroads. Our housing crisis has turned into a housing catastrophe. The demographic of what used to constitute the face of homelessness has been replaced with a new face of homeless, vulnerable women and children. Housing justice and housing security is the biggest issue facing Portland right now. Say what you will about my methods, but the city has been scrambling for more shelters while the families in the streets pile up. So here we are, a real solution.
Jesse Sponberg says the city should buy up foreclosed homes and allow the homeless to camp in the backyards.
This model, if applied citywide, could provide otherwise houseless people with the opportunity to create their own success. It also serves as a temporary safe shelter space. It facilitates the garage project and the outreach work being done through a community donation and distribution spot, also acting in the role of the classic block homes, which used to tie our great Portland neighborhoods together. This is not a homeless shelter. This is a community outpost, a much-needed community outpost, especially here in East Portland. For example, the recent proposed land on Woodstock just sold for $500,000. A project like this comes in around 40% of that cost and brings with it amenities. Instead of being a plot of dry dirt next to a busy street, freeway, or industrial area that the city seems so fond of, this existing available property is running water, electricity, 2 showers, washer and dryer, Wi-Fi, community garden, and most importantly, trees and squirrels and birds and vegetables and an actual address. When I went searching for the perfect solution, one constant kept returning to my mind. All of my favorite community institutions have found a way to use part of the problem as the resource for a solution, while at the same time providing skill-building opportunities. Free Geek trains folks to recycle and rebuild computers to overcome the financial obstacles of technology. Sisters of the Road facilitates hungry people feeding other hungry people. Street Roots is another fantastic model. We see successful programs like R2D2 and Hazelnut Grove proving that if given the opportunity for a safe night's sleep and a small sense of normalcy, we really can get people back into housing. But another issue which serves to benefit no one but demolishers is the phenomenon known as demolition by neglect. The people staying in the shelter space could contribute to the upkeep and the rehabilitation of these properties, while at the same time learning a valuable skill that will serve them throughout their lives. Anyone who can properly swing a hammer and read a measuring tape can always find a job in the housing trades. We already know this kind of project works. We already know that the intentional community model works. Why not combine them? We really can get people back into housing, but more shelters is not the answer. The eminent domain or purchase of these zombie houses is the answer, and I'm showing you how it's done. There are more than 700 of these abandoned generational homes in the greater Portland area. And when I use the word homes instead of houses, it is to remind you that the actual real-life families once lived there. If it wasn't for me taking over, this home would be full of 3 years of needles and shopping carts. Instead, I've been secretly providing temporary transitional shelter for people against the city ordinance and using the space as an outpost for all the charity work we have done. I certainly have no claim to the property other than the direct action of community eminent domain. We hope that this exposure will change the narrative from expensive but unsuccessful shelter building to creatively utilizing the existing spaces while simultaneously rehabilitating our neighborhoods.
Yo, that's a tough one to watch. Man, that's a tough one to watch. You know how much I hated that place? You know how much I hated being there? You know how much I hated just sharing my stuff? I'm not a big fan of sharing. Of sharing my space, right? But it was cool because it was a mish, right? I want to show you guys one more cool video, just because we got it here. This is the Magic Level community. Yo, me and Ryan and DJ Wheels, we shot this. This is cool. There's no sound to it. The Magic Glove of community. Man, so here's the thing about this, man, is that, like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I've literally slept in camps to protect people from being swept, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't help. They just get swept. They just get moved. And can you imagine how traumatic that is for these people who are only just trying not to die? Like, literally, that's their only offense. That's their only crime. When you look at what the Portland police spend their arrests on, 52% of those are of homeless people. Let me make sure I said that so that you hear and understand it. 52% of the people the Portland police arrest are homeless people, and it's usually for a procedural offense. It's usually for missing a court date. Oh my God, stop me. Is this speech from 2012? Or is this speech from 2016? Or is this speech from 2020? Or is this speech from 2024? Literally, I could give this speech in my sleep.